We're all so busy living our lives. And then suddenly something cuts through that, something often very unexpected.
Pediatric trauma call, 15 minutes.
A 71-year-old female with 2 stab wounds to the back.
He was found to be in traumatic cardiac arrest.
I can't feel any pulses. We're at St George's Hospital in Tooting.
Yeah, 24 hours, 7 days a week. I love that question. What's your opening hours?
St George's, London. One of the busiest and most advanced A&E departments in the world.
So do you want to watch, darling, or do you want to look away?
This is the worst day ever. You never know what's coming in, and you just have to be ready for anything.
Gas canisters exploded, 15% burns to hands, face.
In a world of uncertainty, we see a life-changing event.
I'm A&E, I need to get out of it, please.
When patients come in, something takes over.
I'll be fine. I'm going to be very fine.
A place where life,
Give me an A. Give me an A.
love,
Okay, good lad. Well done.
and loss unfold every single day.
Did you enjoy the Queen's birthday yesterday?
I watched the football.
All the patients you're about to see were treated in just one 24-hour period.
Don't worry.
We get to see people who love one another in loads of different ways. Yes. And I think you can give someone the best care in the world, but really what they want is to hold the hand of the person that they love and for them to tell them that they're going to be okay.
You're my hero.
What are you going to get for breakfast today? Got Weetabix. I'm on a diet. My diet starts again on Monday. I'm still in my birthday and holiday mode, so I'm not letting it slip away just yet.
That's by my something beginning with G.
Where? Give me a clue.
I'm going to give you a good clue. You got to look. G.
Look at where it is.
Over there.
Gorilla?
Yes.
Oh, I spy with my little eye something beginning with window. I mean...
I win window.
Do you need any help with anything?
No, that's cool.
Okay.
Working in the resus department of A&E today is junior doctor Raj.
Adult male code red trauma in 15 minutes.
I had quite a good childhood. I was a sensible / naughty kid. I was the one at the back of the class talking all the time.
Have you got ortho? I'll be nurse too. There we go.
I'm actually the first doctor in my whole family. My dad, he'll say this is my son. He's a doctor. He's proud of it.
Yeah, I can do chest drains.
It can be embarrassing at times. You can't keep going around telling everyone I've saved someone's life because you do work in a hospital. And there are a lot of other doctors who do important things as well. I remember once one of my bosses at my old job put his hand on my shoulder and said, "You will have to make a sacrifice one day." I think that was an eye-opener for me. I have a commitment to my job and the patients, but I also have a commitment to family and personal life.
Yeah, it's a weak radial bilaterally.
It's something that I really want to manage well in terms of making sure that I do have the work commitment, but also don't try and sacrifice family life for work and vice versa.
George's ED. Are you coming by land or air?
Element 60, medical team ready to board.
Hit by a car. Yeah. Bullseye the windscreen. Yep, no problem. Thanks very much. Bye. Adult trauma call, ETA 20 minutes. That will be a air trauma patient.
Element 60, St George's, 17.
A 61-year-old female is being airlifted to St George's from the scene of an accident over 40 miles away in Hampshire.
Activate the helipad for 20 minutes time for trauma.
She was out walking when she was hit by a car after it mounted the pavement.
RTC, bullseye.
Yeah.
When you hear that the patient's bullseye, the front screen, so the head is smashed against the screen off the window of the car, it's one of those cases you always know the pedestrians on the losing team.
T1 patient due to continue shortly at 2-2.
So we worry about traumatic brain injuries, organ damage or any internal bleeding, any spinal damage as well.
It's a wait, this one, isn't it? Yeah. She'll go straight to CT.
Fine, yeah, that's good.
I remember being really, really rainy, and I was taking a horse to a competition, and I'd had 3 missed calls off my brother. It just seemed very odd. I had a weird message on Facebook from a lovely lady in the village, and she just said, there's been an accident, someone's been knocked over, and she said, it's your mum.
So everything's outside CT, ready to go.
I'm going to be in there.
Cool.
I was in the office, and our next door neighbour rang, and he said, Nikki's been hit by a car. To which I could hear this noise in the background. I said, what's the noise? And he said, oh, that's the air ambulance. I then thought, crikey. I remember standing up in the office and saying, guys, I'm out of here.
Oh, it's here.
As soon as the helicopter lands, the environment becomes more tense. You just have to be prepared for potentially the worst.
Good morning, guys. This is Nikki. Nikki is 61 years old. Approximately 2 hours ago, she was walking on the pavement when she was struck by a car on a 30-mile-an-hour road. She was knocked out at the scene, struck by the bonnet of the vehicle, somersaulted, her head struck the dashboard, bullseyeing and denting that windscreen. On our arrival, her GCS was 14, dropping 1 for verbal. She's been consistently repetitive throughout, not orientated in time or place. She has a closed head injury, and she's got multiple abrasions on the left side of the scalp, the left shoulder, and the left side of her abdomen. She has a pelvic binder on.
Cheers, thank you.
Thank you. Next scoop off? Yeah.
Yeah, we'll take the scoop off now.
Nikki, do you know where you are at the moment? We're at St George's Hospital in Tooting, in London, okay?
Nikki.
She's good for scanning.
In my head, as soon as I knew she was going to St George's, my whole idea of the accident changed. I thought, we could lose her.
Head smashed into the windscreen, somersaulted across.
61-year-old Nikki arrived at St George's after being hit by a car.
GCS 14 at the time, dropped 1 for verbal.
She's been taken for an urgent CT scan.
In terms of the trauma call, what we want to identify are the head injury and any damages to the neck and spine, because the worst outcome could be death or paralysis.
The injection's about to start now.
Do you remember the first time you saw Nikki?
Yeah, I can remember it very clearly. I was in a pub in West Byfleet, and she came along as a date with one of my friends. She had this very good, dark, rich skin. Sporty, and she was off to play hockey the next day. I think she was having a pint of lager. And I thought to myself, yeah, you're the sort of woman that I like. And then sadly, she split up with my great friend, and then I thought I would make my move with Nikki.
She's got quite an abrasion on her face.
Yeah, so we'll wait for the max facts and all that on.
Yeah.
That'll give us a better idea.
I was driving in those days a Hillman Avenger, pale blue. I took them out to Chu Chin Chow Chinese. I remember we drank a bottle of Blue Nun. I wined and dined her for a couple of evenings before being told the news that she was actually going out with someone else. A couple of weeks later with my great friend, we were playing frisbee on the grass, and who should appear? Nikki. I did in my own quiet way say, well, what are you doing here? She said, I missed you, you made me laugh. I suppose the rest is history, really.
Where are we going to? Recess 7, yeah?
Doctors will now need to examine the scans to determine the injuries to Nikki's brain.
Ready? Steady. Go.
All right.
Well, I love a bit of opera. Well, no, it's not so much opera. I like Russell Watson. Some of the songs at the moment, I really love them. Like Smooth Extra. Some of the old classics I've got, they're brilliant.
Not like this Rihanna, but that work.
Yeah.
I've just come home from work, I put the radio on and whatever that, I don't want to know about her day.
It is true, though.
My name's Chris, I'm one of the doctors. You must be Samuel.
Yeah.
Who's this with you, Samuel?
He's my dad. He's the best dad in the world.
Best dad in the world?
Look at that.
Famous company.
Oh, there you go.
Hello, St George's. Yeah.
A 91-year-old male is being rushed to St George's with a suspected stroke.
Thanks, bye. Thrombolyze to school, 15 minutes.
Every day, I get up before he does and then wake him up. That day, I pull the sheet off him and come on, get up, you lazy bones, until the penny dropped that this is something unusual. He was totally unresponsive. His blood pressure had shot up. His pulse rate was going absolutely bananas. And that's when I had to call the ambulance. It was frightening.
So we've got a 91-year-old Sam presenting, we think, with a query at EVA. So he's got a left-sided, we think, worsening droop. So can't assess his arm and legs for weakness or his speech because he's non-verbal at the moment. He's had a previous stroke in 2012. Yes. He's got Alzheimer's.
Sam, can you move your hand? Sam, can you give me a big smile?
It's got a 2.2.
Sam, Monu call.
Sam, lift up your legs. Has Sam ever smoked?
Never smoked.
Never smoked. Does he drink alcohol?
Never drank.
Okay. Hold up. What did Sam used to do for work?
He was a pilot.
A pilot?
Yes. Started on Spitfires, ended on the Jumbos.
Wow, Spitfires.
quite a
in the military.
With the Indian Air Force.
How did you and Sam meet?
Oh, I was the lowly air hostess. Coffee, tea, or meat. That's the kind of impression people had in those days of an air hostess's job. But that was not me. Sam was always my favorite captain. I remember very clearly when there were employees of Air India who were stuck out in Singapore for days, if not weeks. And these were like the lowliest of the low as far as hierarchy.
Try lifting this leg up again.
Sam just decided to close off the first class lounge and he took something like 16 people back home. That's the kind of thing he would go out of his way to do. So I like that. My parents were not at all pleased. This was pretty scandalous stuff for a place like Bombay. I knew what I was doing. But what you think of theoretically and what actually happens in practice may sometimes differ.
If you want, you can just go next door, just behind the screen here.
Oh, right, yeah.
Sam will be taken for a CT scan to determine if his symptoms are the result of a stroke.
Sam, we're doing a picture of your brain, a CT brain, okay?
Earlier today, 61-year-old Nikki was brought to A&E after being knocked down by a car that mounted the pavement.
Take some deep breaths in and out for me.
Doctors are concerned that the impact to her head may have caused a bleed on her brain.
36.4.
Just get the bear hugger on.
Nikki's husband Richard has arrived at St George's.
It's very muddy. She's got a bit of a wound on the top of her head.
It's the first time he's seen her since leaving for work this morning.
But she's just in here.
Okay, thank you.
Nikki, here you go. Someone here to see.
Oh, my darling. Gosh, Ricky. Everything's going to be fine. Listen to me saying it. Everything's going to be absolutely fine. We're all here, okay? I know you did. I'm just going to go call my children, if I may. Is that okay?
Nikki's children are travelling across London to St George's.
I'm at A&E now. I've just been to see her. She's had a right old bang, blimey.
Mum gave up work when we were born, so she was the one that was there every single time. When I was very little, I had a small grey pony called Freckles. She went to every competition, every training session, and in our teenage years, you know, if it was 2 o'clock in the morning and we were stuck in London or we didn't have a cab home, she would come and get us. Dad, being a big businessman, he's been incredibly successful. But Mum allows him to do that job. You know, things like, I don't know, parents' evenings and school plays. He missed out on those bits. Part of me sort of regrets a bit.
Prepare yourself, because she's pretty knocked around. All right? Okay.
Dr. Raj now has the initial results of Nikki's CT scan.
Hi there, I'm Raj.
Richard.
I'm Raj,
How
one
you
of the
doing,
A&E doctors.
We scan basically head to pelvis with all the spine as well. So we're still waiting the formal report. But one thing that's been picked up is there may be a small subarach bleed around the brain, just around the site of where the impact is. So what we're going to do is discuss your case with the neurosurgeons as to what they'd want to do, okay? Subarachnoid hemorrhage is a bleeding around the brain, between the actual brain and the first layer itself. The bleeding can cover the whole brain. It can go down to the spinal cord. It may result in speech problems, walking problems. If it's as significant bleed, this could easily result in death.
I suddenly thought, God, how is our life going to change this amazing life that we've had? And also, how could it be Mum? Of all the people, how could it be the one person in my life that I couldn't imagine anything happened to?
St George's. Pediatric trauma. Fall out of pram, head injury, yeah.
A 4-month-old baby is being rushed to A&E.
Pediatric trauma call, 12 minutes.
The baby fell onto concrete in a car park near the family home.
Fallen out of a pram with a head injury.
Consultant Reese has been called to resus.
When a child falls onto their head, onto concrete, I'm really worried that they may have significant head injury or some internal injuries. And obviously if they have a head injury, then I'm going to be worried about their neck as well.
Travelling in the ambulance is the baby's mum and grandmother.
The morning of the accident, we went for a coffee with my mum, as we did most mornings before she started work. She'd finished feeding him and she put him back into the pushchair. So I went off to do some shopping with Teddy in the pushchair. My mum had gone off to work.
We'll do a primary assessment here and have a look and see if there's any immediate imaging, we'll get it done.
When I got to the car park to unload my shopping and take Teddy out to put him in the car, I unclipped him, and as I lifted him off, he just catapulted out face down onto the concrete. And he was just hysterical. His skin was all going blue and black from the front, from his feet up.
Pediatric nurse to resus.
The phone rang and there was a woman saying, "Your grandson's fallen out of the buggy." Then I remembered I didn't strap him in.
What's his name? Teddy. Okay, come through, Mum.
Alrighty, so we've got 4-month-old Teddy who's found in the Sainsbury's parking lot. Yeah, so she was unputting the buggy at one side, and what happened was the buggy flipped forward, roughly at about chest height. Didn't breathe for a second or two, started crying, vomited once en route.
Thank you very much. Teddy, look over here. Let's see if we'll turn his head.
Yep.
Turn over this way. All right. Look over here. Teddy. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Too much of an audience.
Okay. There's not a huge amount of active neck movement.
When you have an infant, they can't tell you where they're hurting or where their pain is. They tell you in different ways. If an infant isn't moving their neck and they're highlighting that to me, I'm really worried that they've actually injured some of the bones or the ligaments around that area.
Mum, so when he fell forward out of the pram.
Yep.
Been moving his head around left and right?
No, he's not really moving a lot. He's just been like crying.
His head's kind of still, is it? Yeah. I think we will image the C-spine. I think X-rays. Thank you.
So a significant neck injury in a baby could mean injury, to the spinal cord, and that's my main concern, which could result in paralysis.
Oh no.
What? Oh no.
What cat?
It's a disaster.
You give it a shake, go on.
Go on.
Hey.
Hey.
I look a mess.
91-year-old Sam has been brought to resus with a suspected stroke after his wife Roshan found him unresponsive at home.
We would both read The Guardian. We would discuss current affairs and, activism. I think that was our main common bond. True to style, I told my parents we're not going to have one of these obscenely large Indian weddings. We're not going to have over-the-top stuff. It was simple and really nice, just close friends. We even let in a few relatives. After we had got married, I had no desire to have children. Sam was very generous, and he said that if you, as the woman, had said that you wanted to have a child, he said I would have agreed. Just didn't seem that that's what we wanted or needed, so it worked well. Sam was posted here with his job the same year we got married, and that's how we came to London. We used to walk around on foot and just admire all the old buildings and all the lovely history. We went to Trafalgar Square when Nelson Mandela was here. I got to shake Mandela's hand, and we had this whole brilliant day together. And it was wonderful. But in some ways you can say it makes me feel sad, because you can't retrieve time, can you?
My first job was at St Thomas's in elderly care, and I think being a doctor, you get that kind of wisdom from patients because they've seen it, they've been through life, and you realise time is precious. Don't ever miss out on things when you're younger. You'll only ever regret it when you're older.
Doctors will now need to wait for the results of Sam's CT scan before they decide on the next stage of his treatment.
All right, so I'm going to bring up your head.
X-ray are free for us to go round.
4-month-old Teddy arrived in resus after falling face first onto concrete. He's been brought to X-ray so doctors can assess the injuries to his skull.
I always knew I wanted to have children. I always wanted to be a mum, yeah. The first time I fell pregnant was before Teddy. I was just over the moon with delight, yeah. I first went to the hospital for an early scan, and they told me to come back in 3 weeks because it was smaller than it should have been. There was something wrong, but you never want to think about it. You just think, we'll wait.
He's such a good boy, nice and calm. It's time to fall asleep, Mummy.
When I went back, around before, I'd say 8 weeks, then we found out that I'd lost the baby. I still remember to the day when she told me. It was really sad. She just said, I'm really sorry, it's not good news. Everybody was so nice. I remember them just cuddling me and trying to take away the hurt that you're feeling, but there's nothing that anybody can say.
Everyone was just devastated. One day, we were in the kitchen together, cooking, and I asked her a question and she didn't answer me. And when I turned round, she was just crying and there was just tears rolling down her face. And she said, "What's wrong with me, Mum?" It really hurt me to see her hurting so badly. They're looking to you to make it all better, just like you did when they were little. You do try to, but sometimes you just can't.
Doctors now need to study Teddy's x-rays to determine the injuries to his head, neck and spine.
It's majors, yeah.
Right, Annie's going to be here in about 2 minutes, and then the guys they're coming down too.
What's the story?
This is just ahead. I'm waiting the formal report.
The initial results of Nikki's CT scan have revealed a bleed on her brain.
You can come through. Your dad's here as well. It's just into this.
Hi, Dad. Come on.
Hi, Mummy.
Come on.
You're right.
She's a tiddler. She's a right old bang, isn't she?
Are you okay? You really saw.
Come and have a snack. You'll be fine. She's made of strong stuff, this one.
We used to have some amazing Cornwall holidays. And I remember sitting on the beach eating Cornish pasties, which was our massive treat. We never got given them. And it was always in the pelting rain, in a pair of shorts and a fleece, because it was always freezing, but we had to wear shorts and flip-flops, and spending a lot of time just playing silly games on the beach. And that was one of my favourite things to do. Seeing Mum, I suddenly felt a bit like a child again. And I think Dad was brilliant because he was back to being my dad and he could just help. He was just such a relief.
Did you ever feel that you missed out with the children at all?
Yes. Yes, I think that's I did, yeah.
Do you think the children missed you?
Yes, I think they probably did, yeah.
I was very, very grateful for him just being him.
You're in the best place there is too. You're in fantastic hands.
I remember when I was young, my dad would go on business to America for like 6 months to a year. So I remember that could be quite difficult because you do miss your dad. I'm sure to a degree there may be a little bit of regret, but I think it's something we all accept as well because he's done well in his career. I hope to settle down in the future and have children, but I'd like to be there as much as I can, so at least the children have good memories when they grow up.
So we got the report back from the scans. Okay, there's a few injuries we've just picked up. Okay, so her scapula, her shoulder blade, that's in a few pieces. In her back and spine, she's got a few spinal fractures. T12, L1, L2, L3. So we'll chat to neurosurgery again because of the spinal fractures.
Thank you very much.
Can we tell?
I don't think so yet, no.
What does Nikki mean to you?
Everything. You can't quantify that. By saying everything, she's precious. She's a rock. She was an absolute rock. I couldn't break it down any more than that. It's simple. Let's just say that.
Thank you very much this morning.
Nikki will now be taken to a ward where specialist doctors will carry out further tests. Retired pilot Sam has been brought to resus with a suspected stroke.
Now, where is this monitor going is what I'm trying to find out. Ah, no wonder it's not picking up your oxygen levels. It's not on your finger.
Yes, he seems to...
Not a big fan of this.
No, one of his idiosyncratic things. He never wore a watch.
I won't take it personally.
Doctors now have the results of Sam's CT scans.
I don't think he needs to come into the hyperacute stroke unit because I don't think he's had a new stroke. But I think it may be worth me speaking to my medical colleagues to see if they'd be happy to monitor him just to see how he gets on. We'll wait for the blood test to come back and then I'll update you.
Okay, thank you. Did our tissue correct? Are you trying to take that off again? I'm watching you. Don't be a bad boy. You've got to keep that on. Some time ago, when the GP had sent Sam to what is called a memory clinic, and after the test, the psychiatrist there said that they suspect that he has early signs of Alzheimer's. Are you cold, Alec? That word Alzheimer's just sent such a shiver of dread through me because I've always seen it as one of the most cruel of many cruel diseases that exist. It strips a person of their personality, it strips all your dignity.
Having ruled out that Sam has suffered a stroke, he'll be taken to a ward for further observation.
I don't believe the cheek of it. Does that mean you're hungry or that you're... Why are you sticking your tongue out at me? Cheeky sod. Sometimes there'll be just a little spark, you know, your hopes will light up that, well, something is there still, but it's like gone in a flash. Dominica, why are you sticking your tongue out at me? In the past, we both agreed that life without quality of life was not worth living. He's not there yet, but from what I've read, what I've seen, it can be so hideous. I would rather see him dead before that happens. In many ways, it's as if my life with Sam as I knew him has ended. And I just simply have to try to make the most of whatever time I have left.
It seems really anterior.
Doctors have received the results of Teddy's X-ray.
There's not an obvious fracture that we can see on there. But in front of the spine or the vertebra, there's some soft tissue swelling. And that can be a sign that there's something gone on, whether it's a fracture or ligament or something. We're still kind of none the wiser, if for sure. We're going to get an MRI to try and be sure. Might be best up on bed, yeah? So I'm just going to get on with organising that scan for him, and I'll let you know when we've got a time for it.
It'll be all right. He's in the best place, Mum.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
What if he can't walk or something again?
The hardest thing is the not knowing and completely being out of control. You know, just having to stand back and let people do what they need to do. Just feel helpless.
It's my fault I didn't strap you. Accidents happen.
When something happens to your grandchild, and especially when it's your fault, the guilt is just overwhelming. My biggest fear was that he wasn't going to be Teddy, the normal, bubbly, smiley Teddy that we all know. He was just going to be changed for life. And then my second fear was, will Lauren and I be able to live with this? How's our relationship going to live with this? But it's your mistake, and you have to live with it.
Hi there. I've had a look at the x-rays, and I just really want to see what he's like, as well as the x-rays, because it's important that we treat him and not x-rays. Let's have a look. Let's see, young man. How are you, young man? Has he been quite sleepy since he's back?
No, he was all right. He's fine, but now he seems like he's really sleeping.
Yeah. What's over here?
It's moving.
Get my... Hello. Hey, how are you? Have you got a smile for me?
He does, he's such a
Have you got a smile for me? Amazing. Should we go on the other side as well? Teddy, excuse me. Hey.
So I thought he was deaf, but I took him doctor.
Hey.
Wait, see, I need to check you before.
What are you doing? Okay, it's not so bad, is it? That's not so bad. Oh, matey. Amazing. Okay. So, looking at him, I'm a lot happier. Okay. I'm gonna get the neurosurgeons to have a look at the x-rays as well. If there's still concerns, then we may need to do the MRI scan. We'll see how he goes over the next few hours. I'd like to keep an eye on him for a period, you know, just to see where we're going and get a few more opinions.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mum. Cheers, all right.
When he opened his eyes and he looked at the doctor, it just turned back into a normal day again.
His latest nickname for me was Yo-Yo, because one day I said to him, I'm like a bloody yo-yo going up and down these steps. So he said, okay, I'll call you Yo-Yo now. This is the sort of thing which keeps you going. He will give me a big hug and a big kiss, and he'll say that, thank you so much for everything you're doing.
Where do you start with sort of planning life? And care and looking after things. The days became very long. All you have to look forward to is listen to the Archers at lunchtime. And the day drags and the pain doesn't go away. She's so mum. She'll say, yeah, had a bit of a bump, but she said, everyone has been great.
You can't spend your life worrying that something is going to happen, because that just was a combination of circumstances that I happened to be at that spot at that moment when the car came on the pavement. So you just got to carry on and, you know, just enjoy the time that you have.
We were at an event the other day, a pony club event, and people look and say, that woman is amazing. I couldn't be more proud of her achievement in getting over this. Hasn't felt sorry for herself once.
Do you realise how important you are to them?
Yeah, so there's a card upstairs from them, actually, which I won't tell you about because it'll make me cry. Yeah, I think I do, yeah.
So, what have you done?
I've stepped on glass.
Fragile tape. I've never seen that before in 28 years.
Adult male trauma, 25 minutes.
Fall in the front boat onto face, wood in left eye.
His head was bandaged up, there was blood everywhere.
He's got a piece of driftwood that has penetrated his left eyelid.
Your first question is it just the eye, or is it something more?
It's like something out of a horror movie.
Thank you.